Hello guys, we are going to be doing the music stream as promised, and whilst we are, whilst I'm setting things up, um, I am also going to, as per usual, post on MuseScore and Reddit to see if there is anyone who would like to join us. Let's see. Hmm. MuseScore. There we go. And what communities do we post at? How about um, score advice group as well as perhaps piano compositions? That sounds sound. Pun intended. Okay. Hey, learn to compose and ask me anything. Um, I am streaming my um, I'm streaming. I am live composing. Sounds better. I'm live composing right now. Um, there we go. And let's do this. Hopla into discussions and let's let us post here. Get the links, of course. Shove them in there and put the Twitch one on top. Live here. And links. How about other links? Sounds better. Here we go. And let's copy paste this. Throw that in there. Save and shoot. All right. Now that that is done, let's just try to finish what we weren't able to finish last time. And we'll get something fun on our hands to try out next. I'm thinking I might actually try to compose a piece in like Japanese animation studio style. with piano solo. Oh, and don't forget to stay hydrated because it's super warm right now. And let me get connected on the Twitch chat as well so I can see what people write. And here we go. All right, where did we get to last time? Also, I need to check the sound. I might make the sound a bit louder since we're doing music. This should be it. Okay, last time we got to the recapitulation. Now we're starting on the coda. Um, definitely needs more oomph. I'm placing a forte there. Oh, I know. The power then comes from the phrases of da 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 da. So here is one phrase, right? And then you can do this. Boom. There's another phrase. Right. Here we go. Now we have another phrase. And now we're on forte. We could still do crescendo, but or we could just go chromatically upwards all the time. Because what's interesting about this is that da 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 you could do like a virtuosic chromatic thing. But then if you notice, the only chromatic things we use here are the left hand is going chromatic down, but the right hand, only the top melody sounds like it's going upward, so we are tricking the brain like this. But you see the outline of actually a diminished chord in the bottom. So that's how I'd like to think about it, which is really cool. So it gives like maximum tension because diminished chords and um, chromaticism just are two of the tools that are just, especially in romantic music and romantic piano music, they're used by Chopin, they're used by Scriabin, they're used by Rachmaninoff. Um, so that's something that you could use too in your compositions. Da-ga-da-dum, da-ga-da-dum. Now here we are just going to go downwards like this. I think that you should pedal every two, because otherwise it will get like really murky and you like because if you're doing chromaticism it gets murky real fast. So we'll do this da-da-da-da, and get another one. Uh, Boop. Nice. Don't forget to Control S save, because in case the program crashes you'll lose all your hard work. Um, da 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 dum. Uh, I kind of want this one to go downwards because I've made you'd rather not want parallel movements. That goes all the way back to back to Bach, back to Bach, back to Bach. Um, Here we go. Da 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 dum ba 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 bum. I kind of want the triplet feeling. Da da da. Because otherwise, this feels like it's too neat. You know what I mean? Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum ba 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 bum. So one half note worth triplets and do do this thing. Da 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 dum. Da da da. But make I just copy pasted it, but I'm going to make it into another diminished chord. Here we go, right? Or yep. Da dum bum. And now I've just got to check if I've actually got a diminished chord here. Um, it's E, G, and G. Okay, so you can think about it, the lower notes as a C7 then. Then a C7 but a sharp C. You can do that. Or you could do this. No, I think this maybe? This is probably easier to read. Da 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 dum. Yeah, I might have to change this one to triplets as well. So we'll copy this one for reference, and we'll do like this. Oh, I see now. I see the problem now. I didn't do it for triplets. I see. Well, we can fix that. Do do boop para pa pum da dum and dun and dun da 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 ba. One, two. Whoopsies. 1, 2, 3. The I think I might have to change both to triplets because the left hand would provide too much stability, and we don't want stability when you're trying to up the tension. Then you want chaos. So this one is out. Well, I kind of want to keep the. Let's do this then. Hop. There we go. And that should do the trick. Da da dum. We'll remove this for the time being. Da da da. Right. And then here we will have an actual diminished chord, I mean. Um, like this. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if we want it slower. We could want it faster then to up the tension. The thing with doing it slower is it's more dramatic, but you're losing energy. How about making it faster? What was the tempo before? 195? No, it's not. What's this? 165. What about 170 then here? Da 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 da. Oh, okay. Let's do like this. Da 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 dum pa 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 para pa pa. We want probably much faster than. What about 200 beats per minute? Da 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 dum. Da 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 da. I'm a bit unsure about the rhythm that I actually want it at. I could do da 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 dum pa 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 pum. No, that's too little energy. So this half note is in need of change. I could do da 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 dum da 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 da. Okay, this is interesting. 1, 2, 3. This becomes 3 beats then. So we'll have the coda in 3, 4. Oh, that's interesting. Um, let's see. Where is there we go. Time signature. Hopla. Here we go. Line. Ta ka 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 ka. Yeah, faster than that. Must have removed the time signature. I mean the direction, tempo direction. Here we go. Let's try out 190 and make it invisible. Da, 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 dum. Okay, now this makes our job easier. We'll take this one. Da 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 dum. Ba 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 bum. Um. Hmm. Something like this. Da 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 dum. We still have da 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 dum. I found an error. Here we go. That's better. Da 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 dum pa 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 pum pa 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 pum pa 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 pum. We want accelerando here. And we probably want them to get faster little bit by little. So I'll write Axel poco a poco. That's in Italian. Also make sure that if you're writing musical directions in Italian, then you stick to Italian. Or if you're writing in German, then stick to German. If you're writing English, stick to English. Don't try not to throw in too much of like mixed language in there, because not everybody are geniuses like you are. Hehe. I mean, it gets really weird because sometimes I think I've seen one or two scores. I mean, it doesn't happen that usually, but either it's like people are mixing Italian and English, which is somehow in my mind a bit more fine, but mixing Italian and like French makes it really weird. Um, right, we want accelerando poco a poco, so we're in Italian, Italiano, yes. Um, and then we want, so I'm just gonna manually put in the number that I think is suitable. I'm gonna add by around like 10 beats per minute or something like that. Da 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 dum pa 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 pum. I want accents on these ones because these are. It's kind of like a, in a way, it almost reminds me of mazurka rhythms because they have beats 2 and 3, which are da 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 dum pa 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 pa. It's, I feel like the accents are a bit too strong, so I'm gonna change to marcatos. But whoopsies. Here we go. Oh, and also if you have any questions or just like general music composing questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or and I'll try my best to answer them. Or if you just want to talk and say hi. Um, right now I'm sticking to just um, one outline of the diminished chord. So I'm not gonna change between the three diminished chords because that would get really messy for the pianist to remember. Um, where do we end up? Right here? No, not really. That's hold on. That's the C, that's the E, that's the G. Like uh I can't read. I'm so tired. Yeah, that's correct. Da, da, da. Okay, here we go. Yay. Um, Free per, I feel like is good. Free per line. Because that's what they did there as well. Automatically for me. I'm gonna put this one up there. 2-1. That's good. Um, didn't mean to do that. Here we go. It takes time to learn all of these macros and stuff. Da 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 dum. This one I want even faster, because you realize that organically speeding up, you're speeding up a little bit at the beginning, but then you're speeding up more and more. So it's exponential. So if you're doing an accelerando, then you're thinking like, first you add by, I don't know, 10, then you add by like 30. So you don't add by like 10 again. Da 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 dum. Da ka ka ka. And then, okay, so this is gonna be the last da 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 da. And then we are going to end it. Okay, forgot to do that. See that? And like this. And lastly, we will do, what note is that? That's a B flat. So this guy needs to go up 1, 2, 3 half steps or whatever you call them. 1, 2, 3. And let's see. Yep. I feel like changing them to sharps because they are easier to understand in sharps, I think. Here we go. That looks more neat. And now that we've got that, I want to remain on this diminished chord. It's a F over a diminished C minor, C sharp minor, sorry, or you could see it as F over diminished E minor. I think it makes more sense to see it as F over diminished E minor. Question then is, what powerful way do we go from E minor to just back to like C major again? What some people tend to do is to just like, surprise, throw in like D and then G and then C, the usual stuff, the usual suspects for ending a piece. But I feel like you could do that here, but it would be really unsatisfying to do something that has so little creativity and fun. So we're gonna try something different. From here we go since the melody note is the highest on top usually, we'll keep it but put it one octave lower. So we have this C sharp right here. And then what we will do is that we'll turn this C sharp into a D flat major. And keep the F there. That way we have kept a lot of things. Also, we might want to make it slow down a bit here. Actually make it slow down quite a lot. Because that way you will get an accelerando and then a retardando over here. And let's not be childish and not laugh at me writing retard. There we go. Tap pa pa pum needs to slow down even more. Okay. 150, 140 to 120, I think. Maybe even slower, but 120, let's try that for a starter. Down, and then we'll have lento maestoso or something like that. I kind of forgot what I put here in the beginning. Oh, I didn't give any direction. I just put the BPM. I see. Well, we're gonna have to live with that. Somehow this sounds like it's still in minor, even though it's a D flat major. So it's the same effect that we created earlier, like last stream, where no, the stream before last stream, where I was talking about this B section where we're composing it. And so basically, if you have a sequence of minor sounding or dark sounding chord progressions, and then you throw in a major in there, um, then oftentimes the major will help make it sound even more dramatic and dark because of, functions. Everything is kind of relative. So it's not that a major always means major, which is kind of mind-boggling at times. Let's put a bird's eye there, fermata. There we go. Mm. I'm not gonna keep the F actually. I changed my mind. Because I feel like since this is still going downwards, this should really land down. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going down here. And then for it to not move and keep the F, it would be kind of weird to the ear. I can't find what I want because it was hidden. Dum. Uh, Now we need a cool chord progression. Let's not change the tempo here. Instead, we'll make it half notes. And since the coda is done, we'll go back to 4/4 time as well. And actually this is in 2/4 time. It's getting weirder and weirder, guys. Because I want it in 2/4 time. And then let's change. We'll keep the bottom notes about the same. And from this one, we shall change it into F minor. And do we slam those chords? Double forte? Or is it already like done slamming here? Done slamming. Ta 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 tam parakaka karakaka karakaka. I need to listen to it again. Usually I just write whatever I hear. And then to be able to hear things that you want to compose, then the only things to do is just compose more and listen more. Takakakam, and then here we'll wait even more. Take away the pedal. So here it suddenly gets really soft. And if we're doing soft things, then we actually don't want duplicates as much. There are too many duplicates on the D flat, even though D flat is what the chord we're on. Because usually the chord that you're on is a bit more forgiving. But here, what we'll actually do is we'll move this chord down. So now we have 2 octaves difference. Excuse me, 2 octaves difference between this and this. And then I shall remove this D flat. Because what we really want is for the audience to hear this D flat. And now, so there are 3 D flats. So that's about, I'd say, very limit. It's definitely not optimal, but it's better than, you know, better than like not having it there. Sorry, better than having it there, I mean. Dum, dum, dum. Maybe I even want it mezzo forte. And then have it in lento. Actually, I want it really kind of. This is an afterthought. This is what that is. So after the storm, this is, going back and seeing of what has happened. The hero's journey is almost at its end, kind of. So we want it actually really slow. What about like 60? 60s, 50, 60 is probably what I want. Yeah, let's change it to a 50. Here we go. And then I just dynamically made it go into piano. Now, this is pretty good voice leading here. Not to, pat my own shoulder or smoke my own salmon or whatever people say these days. Because, first of all, we have contrary movement, which is super nice to the ear. And then we have the voices moving as little as possible, but still moving. So here we're going up to from upper to lower. Here we're going from lower to upper. Here we are keeping these two, and then here we are going chromatically downwards, which is the smoothest voice leading that you could do. So yeah, let's continue. Now to do some chord analyzing here, we are having D flat major into a F minor over D, Or you could really see it as, oh sorry, D, F, A flat. So you could really see it as F with a 6, but the 6 is at the bottom, which is kind of unusual. And then we'll go up to the F here. Really, like the lower voice is, it's okay if it's okay to when you're wanting to have like a really nice voice leading. The only place where you're sort of allowed to make a little more jumpy stuff, like with more gaps, is the bass, because no one really cares about the bass sometimes. So this could still work. I don't have to do something like this, even though this could also work. The reason why I don't choose E is because E is too much satisfaction already. We already, it's like they're already like expecting the C major, right? Because this is the third, and we don't want them to expect the C major yet. Just hold it off a bit more. Okay, here we have three Fs, but it's actually not an F chord that I want. So we will do this. Let them go down. Keep the C here, because we've changed so much other stuff. So what I've done here is that I have a D, F, G, and a C. So you could see it as a C suspended. Um, or we could really do something like this. I think this is better. That's a D minor 7. D minor 7. Now, now the best foolproof thing is just to test out what you've written. My hypothesis is that this thing won't work because you have three notes or three voices, and then suddenly a fourth voice comes out over down here. Yeah, and it also suddenly went to major, so I don't really like that either. I'm gonna let it be here. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Uh, do we keep the D? Uh, I'm thinking, isn't it better to do, now this is kind of like an, uh, I was thinking I could make it into a C7, and then we go to F, and then we go to D, and then we go to G, and then we go to C. This chord is so weird. It's a it's a suspended chord I can hear. Mm, this is, well, it depends on function, really, in in a sense, because You could really see this as a G minor, or you could see it as a C7 with a C7 9 without the actual C there. It's uh, it's a stray chord. The reason why this chord doesn't sound nice is just because we're mashing a bunch of white keys. That's E, that's F, that's G. They're too close to each other. Just like siblings, they will fight sometimes if they're too close. Let's keep the D then. You know what? How about F into A flat major? How about that? Because then I can actually have E flat over here. Or we could change the C into a C flat. Technically a C flat, but it's really a B if you read it. And then we'll have A flat minor instead of A flat major. Nice. And then A flat. What's this? 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. A flat minor with a flat 13th. Is that what this is? I'm a bit confused myself. The D still feels like it doesn't belong there. What about just adding a 13th? I think this would sound good. Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb. What about keeping the F then? So the F will just have to be a 6th. Yeah, okay. That's decent. And then we'll move from here into E major actually. So we're taking a very long route back to where we want to be. Back to where we wanna be. Uh, the reason why this sounds kind of like a resolution is because we're going from A flat to E major. So that's function-wise 5 to 1, right? But this sounds too resolved, the E major. So we're gonna change some stuff up. Now, this is technically then really a B flat, rather. B flat major, I mean. Um, from B flat, we can actually go to A, because we've only been going downwards. This A we're going to make part of a complex G chord. The left hand will have to stretch a bit, but I think it's fine. And then we're finally home, or so you think, because it's going to be I'm going to deceive it a little bit. Notice the left hand. So see, it's actually a C major under an A, so it doesn't sound complete yet. But then, finally, you're going to get the resolution that you actually want. So you're going from, say, A minor. Here we have A and E. So the E could remain, but the A doesn't need to be there. The E can be duplicated because it's the melody. Now, I don't want the E to be there either. Get it? E and either. I'm so funny. Okay, there we go. How about the A being duplicated then? Now we're just doing very traditional harmony. How about making it a bit spicier? Adding an E flat in there. In the E chord. It's a bit too spicy there. What about an F sharp? I think that's gonna be too spicy as well. No, it's actually not, because the A and the E is very forgiving down on the left hand. And finally, 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 we are going to get the resolution that we also wanted. G, let's keep the G right there. And move this thing up. I don't know, actually. What about this? This might not actually sound complete because the bottom G is gonna sound kind of weird. Let's have an octave instead. G. What about C7? Does it still sound complete then? I guess if we roll it, it'd sound complete. I need to listen to the whole progression now. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad actually. But make it spicier. Add a D in there. We probably don't want this thing, right? So what about making this a D so that we could do this? Now this is a D, G, B, and E. So we're with a C at the bottom, we'll have a C major 7 add 9, which is a very pretty chord. And then we will have it stretch for that. What more do we want? We could make this into like a harp thing. Gra, 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 gra. But for harp things, then it's pretty okay to like duplicate. But if you're doing like voice stuff, then I advise not to duplicate. But here, since we're gonna try out the harp thing, then we might as well. But for harps, then you should for harps, then you should not have it that slow. What about 130? It's not gonna be lento anymore. Let's see how the whole thing sounds from the coda. Yeah. And then we just add a little bit of emotion to it. This time it was actually slightly fast. But then from here on you go big F. And then because it's going downwards, the main melodic line, you can have a decrescendo until the turning point here where it goes upwards again. Tra, 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 tra. So we kind of want an accelerando. 100, 120, like what? 130, 140, 150, 150 maybe. There we go. Make these ones invisible. I want them to be faster. 100 to 140 to 160 to 180. And then at the bottom here, we'll slow down to 140, 120 maybe. Nope, 100 probably. Because that's what we started with. And then we'll go upwards again. Da, dum, bum. Here we have mezzo forte, there we have piano. And then for this, we kind of want them to be even slower. Because remember the talk about energy, right? So basically we are decreasing the energy for it to come to a halt. So I think around 50 is good here. And just like we said last time, the I expected the length to be 2 lines off on the fourth page, and it's exactly the 2 lines after the fourth page. So that's within estimations. Even slower. I want. You can be 50, you can be 70. Nice. And we're done, pretty much. Uh, what's good about my way of doing things is that usually I don't need to review all that much. I just like listen through it to see if there are any problems. So let's do that. Whoa, nice. And we got finished pretty much. The only thing that I'm going to do now is to go back and add some legato lines, and then I'm gonna post it online for you guys to listen to. And I think somewhere I even put down um, links. Otherwise, I might just put down links someplace else. Let's see. We don't really need legato lines here. I was more thinking this melodic line that the other voice has. Da 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 ba ba bum. And we also want them to be stem upwards. Because the way I feel it is like da 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 dum ba bum. This one is special. This is 5. Um, Thinking of them as like phrases or a sentence. So many sentences make a statement or a phrase or a paragraph, whatever it is that you're trying to say. Um, and I'm thinking maybe I want a repetition of just this to that, but it could get a bit abundant. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. So we are going to add repeats just here, because this is where the B theme actually starts. That works. That definitely works. And then you go into the theme like full force right there. What I did forget was to um, uh, just make a what do we have here? Articulation. There we go. Because I placed marcatos in order for people to hear the melody a bit better. So you should hear it a bit better now. Yes, we do. Right. Um, I'm gonna lower the tempo slightly because I feel like otherwise it wouldn't be like funeral marchy. And then we want it to be pesante, which means heavy. So between the dreamy section, so if we want dreamy section, then I suppose it's more like dolce, right? Sweet. And then when we are returning back here, we should also be aiming to go back to dolce. But then what we could do here is that we put down what was the original tempo, 170 that I wrote, right? Yeah, that's 170. And then you could either write dolce again, or you could do tempo primo, which means um, like first tempo, right? So then people know that, oh, okay, this is where the repeat comes. And hold on a second. We should move it so that it looks good as well. All right. And then for the coda, I wanted to change one last thing, which was ta 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 tum pa 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 pum. I want this to go faster. 230. What about like 250 even? And then you could get really a lot slower. 140 to like 130 to 120, 110 even. Here we go. And let's listen to the thing one last time again, and then I'm going to publish it on MuseScore. Oh, one last thing. I almost forgot. We need to give it a name. And after having played around a little bit and fiddled with it, um, this is definitely like one of those standalone pieces. So it would either be a prelude to something bigger. So it could be a prelude, because really after I would say the official prelude was coined in piano music, then preludes just became sort of pieces that you could theoretically call any kind of standalone piece. And especially after Chopin's 24 a set of 24 preludes, because um, I mean, I think it was Schumann who said that. Well, the 24 preludes by Chopin was really just like a few of them were really short, a few of them were, really big pieces and nothing made sense. So it was really Chopin who enabled pianists nowadays to have the freedom, or composers rather, nowadays to have the freedom to make preludes a little bit however we want it to be. So that could be one. Otherwise, I usually have stopped giving names to my pieces actually, because I don't want to limit people's imagination. Like if you write that this is about say uh, this is about losing a um, dear friend in your life, then the only thing that people would think about is like losing their dear friend and then whatever. But if you want to come up with another interpretation, you can't really. So, anyways, prelude it is. This is how I usually write it. And then one last time to make sure that the B theme works. Perfect. All right, there we have it. I think we completed this in what, 4 streams? So each stream was around 2 hours ish. Usually I would work at like triple the pace of when I'm doing like streams because when you're doing streams, you need to, cater to an audience, explain exactly what you're doing, which is very much a part of the job, really. Um, Recorded guy says, very nice. Why, thank you, recorded guy, and welcome to the stream. Um, so if you want to find, how I came up with the idea in the first place, and or if you want to see how I composed the B section with how all of the and also if you want to know more about just my thought processes and how to compose melodically, how to compose I what's it called, harmonically and voice leading and stuff, then on my YouTube channel, it's just VtuberKei. Um, you can find all of the videos or all of the streams rather, and then if you click on the videos, both in the comment section and in the description, I have made like timestamps of like, oh, this is where I come up with the main, theme, or this is where I talk about like why something works or why something doesn't, or how to think about melody, how to think about what type of progression you should use, and what comes next after transitions and symmetry and that kind of stuff. If that interests you, then jump over to the um, YouTube channel. And if you want to find other links, I think I've already done it on my Twitch channel description or Twitch profile, whatever, something like that. Um, we are going to save it online, and let me put in my username. Here we go, and my password to log in there. And last but not least, we are going to post it up on public, put in the title of Prelude, Opus 72. There's my link. Tags, piano. Whoops, I wrote pinao. That's definitely a new instrument that I haven't heard of. Piano, piwano. Piwano sounds like a fruit, like a Hawaiian fruit, like piwano. um, uh, and then we are going to write, well, it's kind of impressionism or kind of a post-modern, I guess you could say. But then it's also the idea actually was derived from Debussy, so and that was in the first stream of making making the piece. So if you want to check that out. And what more? I feel like there's always when you're publishing it, it goes a long way to add like some tags and stuff so that it's just nice to have them there. And sometimes you can also increase the amount of views that you get. Um, what about tags? Mm, I've written piano, live, composing, impressionism, modern, Debussy. Um, uh, what more? It's like a stream, right? Um, Prelude, definitely add. And then add your own name, because that's good. Because otherwise, if you don't tag your own name, it'd be a bit harder to find you as well. And then in the description, I will write. I usually have done a thing in the past where I just write the date of completion of like first draft of when I'm going to publish it. So it's 2020 0705. Um, and then uh, I usually write Um, what a description. Don't be too generic, but don't be like over the top specific either. So I'm gonna write, well, what's interesting about it? A prelude in C with interesting, interesting uh, time and key changes. Um, the theme, thematic material uh, being scrapped, I guess, from uh, a specific part in Debussy's. It was his Dr. Gradus ad Parnassum, which is probably one of the longest piece names for a piece that I've played. Or did I say it right? Names for a piece that I played. That sounds right. So we're gonna say that it's right. Oh, okay. Um, what is it? It's like in modified ABA form, right? Or so we have an A part, which is the beginning, and then we have a full B part, but then the like last A part is the coda kind of screws with it a little bit, and then we have like a uh, little modified AVA form with the coda. What is it? Well, first of all, coda basically means tail in Italian, right? So it's the sort of last few lines of a piece usually that it's slightly different, but also reminiscing of what you have heard before. Um, so the coda, that almost sounds like a state in the United States. Dakota. Dakota is Dakota isn't even a state, is it? I'm really bad at US geography. Please forgive me. I'm gonna Google it right now to make up for. Well, North Dakota is a state, right? And then there's South Dakota. Okay, got it. Hey, we're learning geography meanwhile. With Dakota, that with Dakota, with a I don't know what to write on the coda. Let's skip that for now. Modify the ABA form. And then I'll put and punch in my usual description. If you're composing a lot, it's good to go into like um it's good to like have a set like description kit or whatever you want to call it, where you can just punch in, your links and whoever you are, that kind of stuff. So next, is this your original work? Yes. Publish. What I'm going to do next is that in case people want to listen to it, or if people are going to view this clip later, which happens a lot actually, because I don't actually have a schedule for doing stuff really. Well, I usually try to stream like every other day or sometimes every day, and so, but a lot of people go back to Twitch and YouTube to look at my videos instead. And so I am accommodating for everybody here. We are going to go into MuseScore, go into the profile, and get to the URL. Um, URL? I'm not L. What are you talking about? Post it in the Twitch chat, and we are about good to start winding off a little bit. So let me put on some chill music. What kind of music do we want? I feel like Mozart would be good right now. Uh, Actually, you know what? Since we're thinking about, well, since at least I am thinking about trying to make a sort of Makoto Shinkai vibe uh, piano piece soon. Probably for the next couple of streams that I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on um, like it's almost Japanese impressionistic, Japanese modern impressionistic, if you want to be really specific, and in a cinematic setting. So it's a little bit like background music. It has very interesting textures. Um, Joe Hisaishi, excuse me, is definitely one of the leading ones. And then you've probably heard of Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, by who's the guy now again? By Ryuichi Sakamoto. That's the guy. So very interesting textures, and I'm very much looking forward to trying to figure out a little bit of how the harmony of that works, because I'm mostly just fluent in, shall we say, I've dabbled a bit into post-romantic and impressionistic s- around World War One era music, but I've mostly been a classical romantic composer, and so I'm very much looking forward to expanding my um, my reach and my styles, because I'm first and foremost a composer and not a romantic composer or classical composer or pop composer or transcriber. I just want to be a composer, you know. A And so, how about we listen to Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence in the background whilst we are ending the stream? And let's do this. I'm gonna up the volume a little bit. And so, well, that's the plan for next stream. As per usual, this one will go up there onto my channel, um, VtuberKei, without spacebars and anything. Um, and I also do some variety of other types of entertainment. Um, I've recently been looking into getting into perhaps one or two board games, or trying to learn them. So that's the sort of it's still up in the air a little bit. It's not really set, um, but that's the plan at least. And by the way, I'm also editing a very funny video. If you're into um, anime or VTubers, then or Apex Legends, then or gaming, just I guess in general, definitely check my random moments out. I really want to be a kind of variety streamer. I'd hate to, well, hate is a strong word, but I'd actually hate to lock myself down into being one type of content creator, because I just want to be an artist, you know, create good art that will live for live as beings without me, I guess. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for the people tuning in. Um, and thanks for the very nice words by Recorder Guy. Um, I suppose we will be putting the stream into an end, and I'm definitely looking forward to making more music um, related stuff in the very near future, I should say. So, see you guys next time. Bye bye.